Welcome to Thursday Thunderdome, where once a week we take one topic and bring balance to the force. With me, as always, is my co-host Chris.
Hello, hello.
This week we are talking about endings and finales. Yeah, we have a lot going on this year with Star Wars, quote-unquote, ending, Avengers, again, quote-unquote, ending, and Game of Thrones actually ending.
Well,
this run, again, quote-unquote.
Well, so, yeah.
Everything's capping off this year. Like
this phase, so this story arc of the Avengers ending.
Star Wars and Game of Thrones,
yeah. And Star Wars going on a hiatus, but we're going to get Star Wars in the fall.
Yeah.
You know, Game of Thrones ending because...
But there's prequels and stuff coming.
Right,
and
there's going to be other
Yeah.
shows, so it's not over as the kids say, but...
Right, but like these sagas and like are coming to their storied conclusion.
Correct.
Is what is happening.
What's insane about Game of Thrones for me is that George R.R. Martin has yet to finish his own story, and yet it's ending on this show.
Yeah, we're gonna see the ending to his story on TV before we get the book.
Right.
And he's not gonna finish it. He's gonna die. Like,
no, he is. I mean, he looks like a fat drunk sailor.
Yeah, he really does. There's no way we're gonna get the ending because I think we're two books out.
Diabetes or something.
Yeah. Unless he ends it in the next book, so it was not even the next book isn't the next thing.
I've actually read that he can't keep it all straight in his head.
It's very convoluted.
Yes. I don't know. You haven't read the books.
I have read the books.
You have read the books.
Yeah,
okay.
I think I read them twice.
Oh, I was talking to somebody else then who's like they started it and got lost. Me too. Like I made it through 2.5 and I was like, there's just too much.
No, see the books, like I got through the first 3 books. I was like, this rules. I get all of it. It's amazing. It's when book 4 and 5, because books 4 and 5 happen at the same time. So like those stories are happening parallel through different characters. And it's like, that's when it's like, I think I had to read 4 a couple times or like to try to finish it because I couldn't. Book 1 through 3 champed them and I loved them. Then it gets wild and you're like, what is happening in these books?
Right. So I don't know. It's kind of, I made it through Lord of the Rings.
Oh, could not do that.
And I feel like George R. R. Martin is the same type of writer. I don't need this much description. I don't need to see the same damn thing from every character's point of view. I just need to know that it happened.
Yeah, I think he's just putting too many like points of view on it. As we're like, I think Tolkien was, I'm gonna talk about this fucking forest for 100 pages, and it's like, right. I don't care about any of this.
I think the first like 1/8 of the book was describing the Shire.
Yeah, I did Fellowship of the Ring, and then I got halfway through Two Towers. Like, don't care anymore. I can't read this.
But Game of Thrones starting this week. The final season. What is it? 6 episodes. Or is it 8?
I can't remember, but like they're all extended episodes. Yeah. It's actually spoilers tonight because we don't record at 4 a.m. on Thursday morning.
Yeah, so we're recording Sunday. We're actually all getting together to watch it.
Yeah, and
it's going to be amazing.
Something you brought up right before we were recording, which is crazy, is the last time we all watched Game of Thrones together was we watched the finale here with you guys, and your son, your wife wasn't even pregnant at the time.
Nope.
And then our friend's son wasn't born either.
No.
So like between the ending of that season to now, there's been 2 childbirths.
2 children born into the friend group. Yeah.
Yeah, and I am like 1 month away from mine. Like it's just crazy amazing how you can like track all that through your children and just like the time passing. And
I mean that's all that kids are, man, is ways to keep time.
Yeah.
Yes. You remember when your son was 5? We did this.
Right. And it's crazy, like, all these big things are ending, because I think about, like, Star Wars and Avengers and maybe not so much Game of Thrones, but, like, my children aren't going to experience that, at least in these forms. I'm sure there will be other things.
Oh, sure. I mean, like, so Marvel's not going to stop making films.
No.
You know, they might, here in a few years, if there gets a little bit of superhero fatigue, where maybe they make less films.
$2.5 billion.
They do 3 movies a year.
Mm-hmm.
That is what they're doing right now is their average. So at some point they're gonna slow down.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm glad Star Wars is doing this.
Yeah, them taking a hiatus makes me so happy because with Marvel it's fine because like comics are episodic anyway, so like having them out all the time, like sure that makes sense, and then people like what they want to see, don't have to see everything. As where Star Wars is more like an event to me. Like, I remember seeing us being so excited for Force Awakens. Like I kept watching the trailer over and over again. Like I when when the Lucasfilms comes up, when I
Oh,
first
yeah,
saw it,
like, you get chills.
I was trying not to cry, like
Yeah.
in the theater, and then I haven't been like excited about Star Wars since then, just because it was gone for 15 years or whatever
Right.
it was. Like taking it away from me makes it much more exciting, and now
Well,
that it's here,
that's one of the unique things maybe about this saga is the Star Wars saga started in 1977, and we're in 2019, and we're getting the last movie of that story arc. It has taken them that long,
Yeah.
over 40 years to do this. That's incredible.
yeah,
That's
and it's
incredible.
like, and now we have basically multiple generations of people liking Star Wars, all for different reasons too. Where it's kids who really, I guess, like maybe my age or even a little younger, saw the prequels in theaters, and those are their favorite movies because
Sadly.
that's what that's unfortunate, but like that's what they grew up on, and that's what they loved because when you're 8 years old, those movies rule. And then we have the kids again who are probably 10 years old now, seeing Force Awakens and seeing like Daisy Ridley and John Boyega and all them.
Seeing Rey and Finn. I mean, those are going to be their favorite characters.
Yeah,
and that's
yeah.
awesome. Those are two great characters to look up to.
And then you have like older people who, and like you and me, like we weren't there to see them in theaters, but our parents showed them to us.
Oh, yeah,
and,
grew up on it. I mean, I was born in 81, so, Return of the Jedi had not come out yet,
Did your parents take you to theaters to see
No,
Return of the Jedi?
no, but I remember. So this is how all of the Star Wars films started for me. You see Lucasfilm, right, pop up. That's a more recent thing.
Dun dun dun, brrr, dun dun.
Dun, da, da, da.
Yeah.
Not even that.
Oh.
HBO.
Oh.
Because we recorded them off of HBO.
That's
so
funny.
My memory of Star Wars, I want every Star Wars movie I see to have the HBO home box office thing fly
Right.
by. And I can't remember the theme right now off the top of my head because they don't do it anymore.
Well, did they not do that's fun.
The snow.
Thank you.
They didn't do that
Okay.
in the 80s. No, they had a theme and everything. I can't remember what it is. Like, it's in the back of my mind, but I can't sing it right now. And then you would get the dun dun.
Right.
Dun, dun.
Which I
Dun,
did kind of
dun,
miss that in
dun.
Force Awakens, but then I, in 1 second, got over it because I didn't care.
Right.
It's just like I was just so used to Star Wars films opening that way.
The first part of a Star Wars film that truly gets me, it's not the Lucas film, it's not the 21st Century Fox theme fanfare.
It's the horn blast.
It's the horn blast, and then Star Wars appears
It's
on
like
the
flies,
screen, and it's
that's
like
so cool.
that's what gets me chills. And so recently just bought the Star Wars Saga, the original,
Right.
before all the new movies came out on Blu-ray because I've been wanting it for a long, long time.
Did you get like the complete Saga Wars with the prequels too?
No.
Okay.
No. Well, yeah. So
Yeah.
prequels 1, 2, 3. Yes, I do have those. They're all in Blu-ray. I haven't watched them yet, but I've watched the original trilogy. The only trilogy that so far has mattered up until Force Awakens, and
Correct.
when I saw that for the first time at home, I was holding my son, and I almost cried myself. And he's not old enough to know
Right.
anything about it. But he actually was captured and captivated by what was going on the screen, even as a infant. He did sit there and chilled with me for half an hour of the movie.
Right.
It was awesome. But
Yeah, that's
chills, man, every time.
yeah. And then with Avengers Endgame coming up, it's 11 years in the making of this pseudo cohesive narrative thread running from Iron Man 1 to now.
I was gonna say there's some plot holes, but we
Yeah,
forgive
but I
those.
mean 23, 24 movies over 11 years. Okay, we can cut
They
them
can have
slack.
a few.
Not
Yeah,
everything
it's
needs to
all
be
right.
perfect. But I remember seeing Iron Man my sophomore year of college, and it was like that.
Ooh. I was a teacher.
That was before reserved seating was a thing. So me and my friends went down. I think we did the midnight showing. We went down at 9 p.m. to get our
Oh yeah,
ticket.
back when you had to stand in line.
And we stood in line for hours to go see that movie. And we walked out. We were like, "Holy shit, that was really good! That was different." And then it keeps happening, and then now it's almost a little. You're just kind of used to it. You're almost numb. It's not like an event anymore.
No,
Endgame's probably a little
it's not
different.
new.
Right.
You know.
It's just this Marvel movie's coming out. I see it. I have 2 friends I always see the Marvel movies with, and it's okay, we'll go opening weekend and watch it. And if it's good, it's great. If it's not, it's fine.
Right, and there's definitely some movies, some of the Marvel films that are just fine.
Yeah, and
There's some that are great.
I would argue the majority of them are fine.
Yeah.
I don't. There's I really there's like three that I hate. I hate The Incredible Hulk, I hate Iron Man 2, and I hate Thor: Dark World. All those movies are garbage.
Horrible. The first Thor's not that great.
Again, that one was like that's fine. Like
It's a good like intro to Thor.
right, and I've been trying to rewatch them all, and I'm not gonna get caught up by the time, but like I'm at least watching the like pre-phase 3 ones where it's like okay, I haven't watched these in a while, and like going back and watching all phase 1 is like oh like I like the Captain America 1 movie a lot more now than I did originally, and
Sure.
like Avengers is still really good even though some things bother me about it, and dude, like all the like I'm like halfway through Winter Soldier right now. I watched a little bit of this morning and then just wasn't able to finish it. And
So last year, before
this is
Infinity War
dumb.
came out, you know what I'm going to say.
yeah, I do. Like this is crazy. Explain,
A
please.
couple of friends of mine and I, we got together and we said, you know what? Okay, starting a Friday night at 9 o'clock, really was more like 10 because I got off work at 9. We put the first one in. We put in Iron Man. And we didn't stop watching them until Sunday morning. Like, we went all the way through. I think I only slept like 3 hours the entire time. Just a lot of beer, a lot of pizza, a lot of food.
That's just so
Plowed
wild.
through 'em, man. I slept through Incredible Hulk because that movie's garbage.
I did in
That's
theaters.
where I took a nap.
I didn't actually, but
I think, where else did I sleep? I think I might have slept through Iron Man 2.
yeah, that movie's fucking weird.
Yeah. So, but really, I was awake for the rest of them.
That's wild, man. That is so much.
Yeah.
I can barely watch 2 movies back to back. There's like one weekend I did it because my wife worked like 16 hours for 3 days in a row, and I was like, guess I'll just watch movies. I have nothing else to do.
Yeah, no, I really love marathoning the films. A few years ago, when Dark Knight Rises came out, theater in my town, they did Batman Begins, The Dark Knight, and then The Dark Knight Rises, and it was a marathon. And so we bought passes to it, and you could just come and go.
You actually, I think you have it hanging on the door.
Yeah, it's still hanging on the door
yeah.
in the room here. Yeah. So I mean, I love that kind of thing. I think that's a blast. I think it's a lot of fun.
I think it's a really cool thing. It's like I am just like unable to do it. I don't think I have the attention span for it. Like that is hard for me to do.
Yeah,
maybe in theaters I could do it because I'm much better at focusing when I'm like, I paid here for this like very singular thing. Let's do it. And
it was a lot easier, I think, for us to sit there and not be on the phones. Because I mean,
Right.
during the Marvel marathon that we did, we're on our phones.
I'm sure you guys weren't like, I would say like I'm sure you guys aren't
like it's
like 100% laser focused. It's
no,
more like
yeah,
in the background.
yeah. It
like,
was
like,
it was
your
more
favorite
just to
part's on.
do a fun thing, right? You know, it's like, well, we've all. I didn't have a kid at the time, but they all had kids. My wife was pregnant. It's kind of like, the guys are going to get together and just get away and like do this
Right.
thing. And then it was kind of cool because even at one point, all the wives came over. You know, we had movies playing and there
I
was
was
kids
gonna say,
running around.
3 days is like like Marvel movies are just playing in the background. Like watch as you please and do all that.
Yeah, so I mean, there was a cool thing about it in that sense. Like it was kind of a camaraderie thing, but you know, it was tough. We talked about doing it again. And
Well,
it's
they're
just
doing that
if-
in theaters. Like they're
fell through.
doing like a 56-hour like watch every single movie leading up to Endgame and then fall asleep during Endgame, the movie you wanted to see the most this year.
Right. That 3 hour son of a bitch you came to see.
Oh my god, it's 3 hours.
3
That's gonna
hours.
be like, and we do like the cookout every year. Like,
Yeah.
everybody comes over to my house. We all go see whatever Marvel movies at that time. And this year it's just like, guys, there's one at noon. There's one at 4. What fucking time do we want to watch this movie? Because it's going to be like a total of 4 hours between trailers and travel and shit.
Yeah.
And then it's like, do you want to eat at 4:30 p.m. or do you want to eat at 9 o'clock?
Right.
Like,
I'm glad
whatever
we
it is.
chose noon.
Yeah, that's what I was hoping for, and I'm glad we did. It's just, I didn't know people's schedules and shit like that. Just out of curiosity, if you can rattle them off quick, top 5 Marvel movies.
Top
You got
5
'em?
Marvel movies.
I mean, you want me? I can go first. I got that
Ooh.
locked and loaded.
Yeah, go.
Winter Soldier, Black Panther, Guardians of the Galaxy, Spider-Man: Homecoming, and then I think my 5th is kind of a wild card. Like I really like Iron Man 3, Avengers 1's really good, Avengers Infinity War, like all those are kind of like in there. But like those top 4 are locked for me.
I think for sure Infinity War is in my top 5. Like, I love that film. I think there's not a wasted scene.
Yeah.
The dialogue is good. The action is incredible. You know, there's a couple of CGI moments that are a little iffy, like when Hulk's head's floating there. But
that's one moment as where Thanos looks amazing that entire movie.
Yeah.
So it's like,
and
if
he's a
that's your
character-
sacrifice, fucking fine.
He's the best character, like the best villain in Marvel right now.
I would disagree, but I think he is in the top.
I think he's a top 3 anyway.
Oh, for sure.
Because I think he's the most complex. Mm-hmm. He's the one that has spanned over multiple films.
I like that he's not bad for the sake of being bad, which is why I hate Thor: Dark World. Like, why is that villain doing that?
The Dark Elves,
because he's a bad guy. And it's like, that is so fucking boring.
Right.
Which is what bothered me about Captain Marvel. Like, one of my favorite characters, and Brie Larson killed it, but the bad guys were bad? Like, they're just bad because they're bad? Like, they don't explain anything, and, like, that's kind of annoying. But you're right. Like, Thanos is, like... I was, like, very worried about that movie because I was like, can they do it? Like, is it, like... I think as a film, it's not, like, perfect because it is definitely like it's an episode of movies.
Right.
And like,
I think you're going to be able to take Infinity War and Endgame, and if you put them together,
right,
it's going to be a 5-hour masterpiece.
Right.
But to continue on my list here, I definitely think Black Panther.
God, the movie's so fucking
is in
good.
there, and this isn't for me in no particular order. This is just if I was going to say you could only have 5 Marvel movies ever to watch again. Guardians, for sure. I thought just unique. The humor was excellent. James Gunn is one of my favorite directors, and he's done a few smaller films that I really enjoyed that a lot of people may not know about. Slither is one of them.
I haven't seen Slither. I did see, what's the one with Rainn Wilson and Ellen Page?
Oh, why?
Like Superhero or something like that. That movie was good.
Whatever I know what you're talking about. I can't think of the name of it right now, but it is.
But a friend described to me once, like, what makes what Guardian so good is, like, in the first 5 minutes, you know exactly what the movie's going to be. You start with this very emotional beat, and then him, like, you think it's going to be this super serious, like, superhero thing where he's, like, kind of, like, scanning the rain and, like, going through this, like, tunnel, and then he pops in music, the title pops up, and it's him dancing, and it's like, okay, I know within these 5 minutes, James Gunn has shown me everything that this movie is going to be.
Right.
And that's, like, a very fascinating thing and, like, good thing that you don't see a lot in movies. And, like, it's just, like, the clarity of the film is very good. And, again, like, the villain's kind of, like, I guess I know why he's bad, but it kind of sucks. But the way they did the film is so unique and different that it kind of excels that format.
Right. No, sure. And this one's going to maybe, I don't know if it'll surprise you or, you know, a lot of people might disagree with me, but Ant-Man.
I hear a lot of hype for Ant-Man, and that one just didn't do it for me. I know. I see why people like it a lot, and it's like, I thought it was like a solid B for me.
I think, again, it comes down to, you know, just the tone of the film. I liked the quirkiness of the humor.
Except Michael Pena doing, like, his thing.
Michael Pena's amazing.
That scene where he does all the dialogue is really funny.
He is awesome. Right. And I really, like, they should have seized a moment and done a Marvel film recap with him doing it.
They really should have. And that would have been excellent.
Like, I know I'm not the first one to come up with that. Yeah. We've talked about it before, but, like, that would have been amazing.
Right.
You know, and maybe we get into the theater and they do it.
Oh God!
You know, like,
so
that's
good.
the secret.
It's like a
right?
short.
Yeah. It's like, hey, instead of previews, you get.
Oh, that'd be amazing.
Wouldn't that be great? I think. What is that? How many is that for me?
That's
is that
3.
4?
Infinity, Guardian. Oh, Black Panther and Ant-Man.
Yeah.
Yes,
so I think. And it's really.
I'm thinking. I feel like I know the 5th, and I'm surprised you haven't said it yet.
Oh man.
I mean, you keep going. I don't mean to interrupt. Please.
I'm having a hard time just recalling all of them off the top of my head, but I feel like one that I've watched maybe more than others and sticks out. Spider-Man: Homecoming is God, amazing.
I love that movie.
Is amazing, but I feel like Civil War.
Civil War was a weird one. It was because I started reading comics when the comic Civil War was coming out. So, like, that's what got me into comics. And
it was like 06?
Yeah, 06, 07. It ended in 07, yeah. February 07. I specifically remember that because I have
look at you.
I have a broken brain. Can't do the things my wife asked me to do, but I can remember
that comic
I can remember when I bought that comic. But after seeing Winter Soldier and having my head exploded, because that's one of my favorite movies, and they announced Civil War with the Russo brothers as coming back as directing. I was like, holy shit, this is a movie, like, completely designed for me, and I'm so excited for it. And I thought it was pretty good. I think they struggled with, is it an Avengers movie? Is it a Captain America movie? And, like, when they did those two things, like, when it was very Avengers-y, it felt, I was like, oh, it's like Shining is like an Avengers movie. And when it was a very Captain America movie, I was like, oh, it's Shining as a Captain America movie. But like the dichotomy of that like didn't like really quite gel. And I thought it was like really fucking long.
I thought it was great. And I don't see it as a Captain America film.
It's because it's not. And I think that's kind of my issue with it.
5, right? Like
Yeah.
it is an Avengers film.
Right.
And I think they named it a Captain America film simply because
They didn't have time to do an Avengers movie.
Right. They didn't have time to do that, but Chris Evans' contract.
Right.
I think he's pressing the issue to like, let me get through these films. You know, because if he didn't do that one, then he would still have one more film to do
Right.
after Endgame.
Yeah.
Right. So you said there was one that you were thinking I was going to say.
I thought you were going to say Thor Ragnarok.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because like a lot of people really, really like that movie.
It is so good. Like, and that's the problem is I think you view a lot of them more as fine.
I think I
Still view some of them like I could swap out almost any of them for Homecoming or Ragnarok. You know, I could interchange Civil War with either one of those.
Right. And I think my thing is we have so many Marvel movies to choose from that I think my bar is set very high now. Because it's like the movies that I put in my top 5 are like, okay, these have excelled my expectations for what these movies can and should be. As we're like, none of the Phase 1 movies are in my top 5 anymore.
No.
Because, and like, I really like Iron Man 1 and the Captain America 1 and Avengers 1, but like, then you get in. It's kind of like the Empire Strikes Back, Last Jedi effect, where it's like, hey, that first movie was great. This second movie like improved on it so much more, and it's like, okay, well, I now like the sequel better than the first one.
Right. Well, and I think that's why almost nobody's favorite Star Wars film is A New Hope.
Yeah.
Right.
But I could like, and like we have a friend. He goes back and forth between Empire or that one, and I totally like. Absolutely. Like, I think choosing either one of those as I demand to know what your opinion is, and like you have to only have this one, is if you choose Star Wars over Empire, like sure, like yeah, it's the first one, it set the tone for the whole thing, and it's a great movie.
It's set up the whole thing.
Right.
It is the catalyst that gave us 9 films,
right?
6 of which, and I'm assuming. I hate the title.
I think it's fine. Like,
I mean, that's
Patton and Willett's phrase. Like, it's fine.
It's fine.
Like,
Yeah,
I'm not like
agree.
stunned.
It's just fine.
I'm not stunned by it.
The
But
rise of Skywalker, like,
right.
I don't know. I feel like they mailed it in. You know,
I feel like they had to do the form of Return of the Jedi, Revenge of the Sith, Rise of the Skywalker. Like, I feel like they locked themselves in on that. As we're like, Star Wars Episode 7, The Force Awakens. Everyone's like, holy shit, what does that mean? And then like you get The Last Jedi, and you're like, The Last Jedi.
What does that mean?
Does that mean Luke? Does that mean Rey? Does that mean something else? Like, and it's like, does it
Kylo?
mean, does it mean the previous Jedi? Does it mean the finale of the Jedi?
Does it mean
like,
the little kid at the end? Spoilers.
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
So the problem that I have with that title is what they're going to do is the fan theories are going wild, right? So it's Rey. Rey's a Skywalker.
I'm going to murder everyone. No, I don't want to say murder everyone in the theaters because people do that. So
don't murder me because we might actually be in the theater together. Who knows? I mean, this is coming out in a while. We could plan this out.
Okay, I'll make a list. No, it's like my fear when they announced J.J. Abrams as directing Episode 9 was
They're playing it safe.
1, they're playing it safe. 2, they're going to wipe out everything Last Jedi did. Like, you already like obviously it's just the trailer. We don't know anything yet, so this is all just wild speculation. You already see Luke Skywalker's lightsaber in that movie. It got destroyed in Last Jedi. Like the opening scene is her holding Luke Skywalker's lightsaber, and it's like, why? And it's like, and they're bringing Emperor Palpatine back, who I love actually, but
he's an amazing villain. But
but I don't want him in this movie.
First off, it begs, how does he survive?
Clones.
You know.
Like through like Star Wars lore, there's like clones or everything. That was my theory. Like when I saw Episode 7 the first time, I walked out, I was like, Snoke is a clone of Palpatine. Like that was my call, and then Snoke died and no one cared. But like the whole point of Last Jedi was to say, you guys are so wrapped up in this shit doesn't matter. We need to push forward.
Correct.
And this feels like it's a step back. That all said, I'm super fucking pumped for this movie. So, like, obviously, I'm just nitpicking the shit out of this, and I sound like every other jaded asshole on the internet. But I'm really, really hyped for this movie.
No, because, I mean, we both agree Last Jedi really moved the saga forward. Yes. It was an amazing film. Visually, the writing, the concepts, the lore that it added in. And if they backtrack on that,
I'm gonna
first
be
off,
very
how
sad.
do you backtrack on something that you say is canon?
Right.
They're doing this to please the fanboys, who all of them still went to go see it multiple times in the fucking theater.
1.6 billion, I believe.
Right.
Like,
I mean, you made a shit ton of money off of it.
there was an Onion article, and I think it was when Force Awakens came out. It was like, man sees Force Awakens 6 times, says it was fine, might go see it a 7th time. And it's just like, yeah, that's fucking all of you idiots. And it's like, I really love Force Awakens. They brought in a bunch of new characters I'm very, very happy with. But they played it very safe, which I totally understand why. But it didn't propel anything forward.
No,
that was kind of my issue with it.
They took the formula of A New Hope,
right,
and just did The Force Awakens. And J.J. Abrams
they put it in a box and shook it up really hard. And
he did a commendable job.
Yeah.
It looked great. The actors were amazing. As you said, they introduced some great characters: Finn and Rey. Poe,
Captain Phasma.
Yeah.
God, I love Phasma. Confirmed not in Rise of Skywalker, so I'm not going to see the movie 10 times.
Lies.
Yeah, I'll see it 3 times in theaters.
Hey, keep in mind, we're going to get to see her tonight.
Oh, yes, Brienne of Tarth. I forgot.
Yes. So, I don't know. There's just something about her, right?
She's awesome.
Yeah.
She's a huge
I love
badass.
her as an actress.
Yeah, she's so imposing and cool.
Yeah. She's tall and she's beautiful, but she's tough. And it's like, yeah, you're okay.
Yeah,
you kill me. That's fine.
I love her. She's so cool.
But I don't know. That's probably my biggest fear. Now I think visually it looks great.
Yeah,
like that scene.
She jumps over Kylo's speeder, right, and it's fucking awesome.
Not speeder, TIE fighter.
Yeah,
fucking TIE fighter. The
silencer.
Yes, he jumps over. She jumps over, and it's like, holy shit, she's gonna chop it in half.
Yeah, and I've purposely only watched the trailer one time. I'm struggling not to watch it again, but Star Wars, I'm trying to watch as little as possible.
Right, I don't want to read very much. I avoid fan theories. I've got some other friends who we talk a lot about it, and so they've got some theories, and they're the same fan theories. It's just stuff they pulled off Reddit probably, but that's fine. I don't want Rey to be a Skywalker.
No, it was so good that she's a nobody. That's what I want.
I know. I think
and Rise of the Skywalker can be
story.
Kylo Ren. He is a Skywalker,
and he could turn back to the light. But I don't. I kind of don't want that either.
No, same.
I think Rise of Skywalker is probably referring to Luke.
Yeah.
And I think I'd be okay with that. I mean, it is his saga in my mind. He's been the catalyst for 5 of the films, now the 6th probably. And then you have Anakin, Darth Vader, who's gone. So maybe they both come back as Force ghosts and whip ass. Who knows? Just don't bring back Hayden Christensen.
He might be able to do okay now. I've not seen him in anything other than those movies.
If we're being fair, Mark Hamill has become a better actor.
He was not a good actor in Star Wars.
He was bad.
He was bad.
He was bad.
He wasn't arguably a good actor until Return of the Jedi.
Right. And then he came into his own when he was the Joker.
Yeah, amazing. But yeah, and it's just oh man, I'm so pumped for that movie. It looks cool. Right. It looks like they're doing a lot of stuff on set, which makes me very happy. Or maybe not on set, but on location.
Location, yeah.
And so it looks
Instead
really
of just
good
on green screens.
Yeah, because even watching, I watched The Winter Soldier or part of it today. I was like, oh yeah, I remember this looking really good at the time, and now it's still passable, but
isn't that sad? Mm-hmm. How at the time you're like, wow, it's amazing. So one of the things back to the Marvel marathon that I did that we noticed. So we watched Iron Man. And
did it look bad?
It looked horrible, but you're talking about 2008,
right?
And then it was kind of incredible to watch each successive movie just get better and better and better visually, with the CGI and everything. And now it's we get to, Infinity War, and Thanos looks like he's just another character on set.
Yeah, I am gonna at least watch that one more time before Endgame. I'll see how far I can get. I have Good Friday off for whatever weird reason, so I'll probably watch a bunch of Marvel movies.
Well, because a lot of companies still recognize that.
It's just weird
Easter
that
Sunday
it's specifically a religious holiday. Whatever. The finality of Jesus Christ, but he comes back, so it's all right.
That's right.
Yeah.
The rise of Jesus Christ.
Yeah, see, it all tied in.
The rise of Skywalker.
Yeah.
Luke's coming.
Yeah, exactly. I forgot what I was fucking talking about. One of the things, I remember seeing when I saw Avengers in theaters, I was like, Hulk looks fucking real. Like, it looks like I could touch him and he like would be there. And then going back and watching, I was like, ooh, it doesn't look so good anymore. But again, that's because technology changes so fast.
I mean, it is just advanced.
It looks more and more
light
real.
Years.
Yeah.
And it's just incredible. We get so used to it. It's kind of like roller coasters, you know? Like you hop on a roller coaster, your first one, it's a little rinky-dink wooden roller coaster. And then the next thing you know, you're wanting like the seat to spin.
And like your feet are dangling.
And you want to hang upside down. And like, we need more thrills, right?
Yeah. Yeah, it's like such a good year to be a nerd. Like, and it's not even, like this stuff's not. It even is, but like this stuff's not even nerdy anymore. It's so mainstream that like
it's. Is it nerdy? I mean, it makes billions of dollars. Yeah. All three of these.
Like, it's like, and we're using like a 70s or earlier term of like that's nerdy, and this is like everyone's fucking nerdy. Sports people are fucking nerdy.
They're nerds. Yeah, we decided that back on the sports episode.
God, our friend is like keeps talking about Tiger Woods. Like,
shut up!
I want to make fun of him tonight. I can't wait till he listens to this. Yeah.
When he walks in, I'm just gonna go, Tiger. Meh.
Did he win? Is that what happened?
He did.
Okay,
he did.
I assumed with like because he would just put an all
and this
caps
is
Tiger
after me
Woods.
making a proclamation before the start of the tournament that I don't think Tiger's gonna win another major. Shit, he's at 15.
Whoops, he has 15.
15.
Damn, that's crazy.
Well, he's still got to get 3 to beat Jack Nicklaus, which I know you know who he is. So.
I do know who he is, actually. Mm-hmm. He makes very good drinks.
Yes.
Yeah. I do know who he is. Actually, I know who he was on Celebrity Deathmatch, if you remember that.
Nice. Yeah, on MTV.
Yeah.
Love
it. Yeah, but like things are coming to an end, and it's kind of for the sake of it. So those big three, do you got any like wild predictions that you just want to put out there on the mic?
Okay, so I think because you've got to end contracts and it's writing on the wall, it's obvious. Some Marvel character is going to die.
I mean, you think they all have to die, right? Maybe except Scarlett Johansson.
Well, okay, so Black Panther's got a sequel, so T'Challa's sticking around.
I'm assuming like the
original six,
the original, barring Scarlet.
Because Scarlet Witch is not Black Widow. Yeah. She's sticking around.
Yeah,
she's got a movie coming.
Yeah, she's a movie coming.
Right, she's got a movie coming. Hawkeye's sticking around.
Yeah, because he has a
show coming.
But like for sure, Cap and Iron Man are dead.
They're dead, 100%.
Thor, I think, is a toss-up.
Thor. God, if they could do another one,
he talks about
Ragnarok.
He wants to work with I can't.
Takiti.
Yeah, I cannot pronounce his name.
I know I'm going to butcher it, so I'm just not going to try.
He wants to work with him again for a Thor 4.
Yeah, I think if they did a Thor 4 and he wrote and directed
Thor. There we go. Did it. Smart. Good joke. I'm glad I interrupted. Keep going.
So I think he's going to stick around. Bruce Banner. I honestly think. What's his Mark Ruffalo loves making these films. I think he just has a good time. Right. I think he would do it into perpetuity. Mm-hmm. So I don't think he's necessarily going anywhere. But Cap, Tony, out.
Definitely dead for sure.
Dead. At the end of the day, yes, dead. And the thing is there's precedence for this in the comics, so it's not like it's going to be, oh my God, no, because Bucky could take over.
He does take over in the comics.
Doesn't Falcon take over?
Yeah, they both do.
They both become.
When Bucky
America?
takes over Captain America, it's a really cool time.
And then you were telling me about a comic where Ironheart.
Yeah. So she sort of took over for Iron Man because I guess he was in a coma or something. I don't know.
Well, he's going to be dead. So
right, but James Rhodes is Iron Man. A bunch of people have been Iron Man at some point. Doctor Doom was Iron Man kind of for a while.
So, what's your predictions for Endgame?
So to get deep,
I already know you think those two are dead. But
yeah. So to get deep in comic books, I think the stinger in this movie is all that shit happens. They save the day. Spoilers. They stop Thanos in whatever way it is.
That's gonna happen.
Right. I think we're gonna see a character called Kang the Conqueror, who's a time traveling person who's just one of a big Avengers villain. We're gonna see him shit got fucked up. I need to fix it. And I think if they don't kill off Iron Man and Captain America, they're going to use the Infinity Gauntlet to recast. When he snaps his fingers and fixes a reality, suddenly Tony Stark and Steve Rogers are different actors.
Right, and
that's the best built-in excuse to do it because you're just oh, they just recast this. It's they actually have a story reason for this for whatever. And
so who?
No idea. Beyond me. Can't do it.
I can't imagine anybody else in those shoes.
And that's why I hope they just kind of kill him off. Right. And I also think legacy characters are very, very interesting. So somebody filling in that role is like way more interesting than it's like, here's a new story with Captain America. It's like, oh, it's Bucky Barnes as Captain America now having to deal with his past and the legacy of Captain America,
Right.
which
And
is
the loss
far
of
more
his friend.
Yeah,
Yes.
which is far more interesting than another Captain America story.
Right, because you have a little bit of, there's a little bit of darkness and, sadness to it,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And I think that makes things more interesting, which is why, in my opinion, Empire was a better film, than A New Hope, because there was this darkness, this tone, this mystery to it. But, and Marvel's not going to lose the light-sidedness.
No.
But I've heard that fan theory, and I know there's precedents for it in the comics where snap Reality Stone, snap it, and everybody's back, but as different people. And I would be curious, like, who could do it? I
have no
can't
idea.
See anybody.
Because Chris Evans became into that role so well, as where Robert Downey Jr. defined like Iron Man, and like they changed the comics to reflect more Tony Stark-esque.
Right. I mean, even his looks more.
Yeah.
Right?
And they build it a lot more
like
on
likeness
him.
is in the comics now.
So I hope they don't recast. And I really like. It'd be cool to see like the Avengers of like Black Panther, Captain Marvel, like leading the team with Bucky the Winter Soldier as Captain America and whoever they want as Iron Man,
or not even have Iron Man, because
yeah,
Iron Man's not always in the Avengers, right?
Yeah, like Avengers is like
it's a rotating team.
Everyone's been on the fucking Avengers. Like if you were in the Marvel universe, you've been on the Avengers at some point.
Right. So you have all of these characters, right, that they can bring in. And I think that's how Marvel continues with the same arc without having to reboot the whole thing.
Right.
Which, at this point, how do you reboot the whole thing?
I don't think they will. And like Marvel is like as a comics company is very staunch at like they don't reboot, as where DC like has like big events where like reality changes and they just like can wipe away continuity because it's a lot easier, in all honesty, as where Marvel uses like a sliding time scale, because I think originally Tony Stark was in the Vietnam War, and then it became Desert Storm, and then became Afghanistan. Like and then as we go further, I'm sure it'll become whatever other place we invade or whatever it's gonna be.
Yeah, I mean, whoever's next on the list of royal countries,
Yeah, Saudi Arabia like wars, exactly. Yeah, but with all that, and speaking of finales, we have an announcement.
Yes.
We are ending Thursday Thunderdome.
It's over.
That's it. Just Thanos snapped and we're done. And
packing it up, and we're floating away like dust in the wind.
Say, Chris is disassembling in front of me right now. But we've been talking a bit about it, and when we started this, we had this like idea that it was just kind of like, let's just talk about shit we want to talk about.
Right. We weren't focused. We weren't going down a particular path.
Yeah,
like,
and it became like, it would be like the night before we were recording, it was like, fuck, Chris, what do you want to talk about?
We need a topic. God damn it.
Yeah, and like we'd either like ask people or just kind of throw stuff together, and maybe it wasn't our best episodes or we'd have good things. And like we look back at, I think, some of our favorite episodes where we're talking about like parenting and masculinity and like all these things, and we had like a lot of notes and like wrote a bunch of shit down.
Yeah, we took the time to plan it out because it was something we cared about.
Right.
And one of the common themes that we always come back to on almost every episode, and we
talked about it on this one already.
Kind of here, is our kids.
Yeah. And
the fact that you're becoming a father soon. I've already got a son.
He's turning 1 in a couple months, which is bananas.
It's insane. So we've decided that we want to be more focused on them.
Yeah. So we as a podcast duo are not over.
No, we will continue and we will forge ahead.
Yes, we will be launching a new podcast based on us being parents. It's like a dad podcast.
How to dad in the modern era.
Exactly. We have a name yet. I think we're going to keep that not on this episode now, but I think we'll start putting stuff on social media and kind of promoting that a little bit more. But we are expecting, I think, either the 1st of May or like the first week of May.
Yeah, the beginning of May. Look out, we'll have something up and running.
Yeah, we have something coming. A little more focused, a little less of just us. I don't know, what do you want to ramble about for 40 minutes? Like, you want to talk about Star Wars, Avengers, and like Game of Thrones, like every other fucking white man in America, like every other podcast that's happening right now?
When I think the benefit is we're going to get to still talk about some of the things we want to talk about, but it's going to be more focused through the lens of being parents.
Right, exactly.
Which we were talking about topics we wanted to talk about, but it always kept coming back to the lens of being
Yeah, because I
parents.
think really starting with
start there.
like episode 5 or 6, every episode kind of ends with us being like, and how's this going to affect our kids? Like, how are we going to like raise our kids through that?
So we're just going to start there.
Yeah, and then just be just a little more narrow focus and like a little more structured. And this is like a very good experiment. We had a lot of fun.
Learned a lot.
Yes, we did. We made a lot of good friends that I'm still going to talk to, Joe and CJ over at Prompt Pod.
Oh, hell yeah.
And Prompt and Circumstance. Everyone should go check them out. They're very funny, and you should go download their show. But yeah, we just wanted to become better at podcasting and be a little more focused and not enjoy it more, but like bring something new or like dedication to it, I think.
Right. And I think having a little bit of a niche,
yeah.
you know, and really focusing.
Because this is like the most general podcast of all general podcasts. And
We've
this would have
talked
worked
about
like
everything.
10 years ago. But again, like we really enjoyed it though, and we thank everybody for listening.
Thanks for your time
and
your
rating and
ears.
subscribing. Yes, and thank you for telling me I'm wrong about Batman or arguing with us or agreeing with us or whatever it was.
It's been good, folks.
Yeah, I'll give our final thank yous. Again, whoever reviewed, and subscribed to us on iTunes or wherever, we very much appreciate that. That means a lot to us. And for our final thank yous for this Thursday Thunderdome, we have Sarah Lichty, who did our logo and graphic design. You can find her at sarahlichtydesign.com. You can also find her on Casey Elaine Photography, which I remember the name this time.
Yes,
We
you
the
did.
logo
.com,
over there.
yep.
.com. Come on, I was close enough. And of course, thank you to our great friend Jimmy Nimbus, who did our intro and outro music for this episode and all episodes. That song is called Top Off, and you can find that at jimmynimbus.bandcamp.com. You can check them out on Hotel Records as well. We'll still have the Thursday T-Dome Twitter and our Facebook and Instagram and up. We'll probably be promoting our new podcast coming soon.
Yep. So if you want to know about it,
you'll see it
follow
on
us
there.
on,
We'll be
Twitter
blasting
and
you.
Instagram.
If you have anything you want to say to us right at the end, thursdaythunderdome@gmail.com. Again, you can email us there and whatever you want to know. You can tell us you hated the podcast and you're not going to listen to the new one, or you can tell us how much you loved it, or whatever you feel like.
and, you know, all things willing, maybe Thursday Thunderdome pops up every now and then or comes back.
That's right. Yeah, just because we're
full-time
ending now does not
in a
mean
new
it is
version.
over. Yeah.
But definitely a new dad-focused podcast coming up.
Yes,
in a
exactly.
couple
So
weeks.
you'll be hearing about that very soon.
Thanks.
All right. Thank you.
Have you heard the theory about Rugrats?
Hold on.
How-
Yes, it's is it like? Fuck, I know this one. It's
I can't remember the girl's name. The
It's
older
Angelica.
sister. Angelica, yeah.
Because, like all the babies are figments of of her imagination. Is that what it is?
Yeah, well, like,
'Cause, like,
Tommy,
some-
Tommy died.
Yeah, that's what it
And
is.
so she's making all this up, you know,
Right.
to cope with the fact that her little
yeah,
brother died.
that's right. Yeah, I did hear that. That's fucking dark.
Yeah, it's like, wow, thanks for ruining my childhood. Let's not have a fan theory about Doug, okay?
Doug was a weird show. I don't think I ever liked Doug, but I watched a lot of it.
I watched a ton of Doug.
Same thing with Rugrats. Like I don't like Rugrats, but I watched so much of it.
Watched all of it.
Yeah.
But I think looking back, it doesn't hold up maybe, or...
I can't imagine any of it would hold up.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
We'll see.
Welcome to our welcome to our 90s Nickelodeon podcast.
Where all we do is talk about the 90s
Yeah.
Nickelodeon shows.
All right, you ready?
Yeah.
Welcome to Thursday Thunderdome, where once a week we take one topic, kind of put it in there with us and see what we want to do and choose it and get the... Nah, fuck, I don't know. I'm going with that. Start over. Round 2. I don't know what I'm saying. This quote's not going to work out. Fuck that quote. Okay.